Peace and love, everyone. I'm Nova Isaiah L. Welcome to the channel. Today's topic is about horoscope. What is a horoscope? And we're going to look into the two luminaries, the sun and the moon, and see how they impact and influence your personal horoscope. Before we get into the lesson, we have to break down the word horoscope. And when we look at the word horoscope, we get two words, horoscope. And horo is short for Horus, which is the Greek word for Heru. And Heru dates back to ancient Egypt, where we look at the story of Asa and Set, how they battled. Two brothers battled, and Set was able to defeat Asar, and then Asar and Set's son, they actually had Heru, and Heru was able to overcome his uncle Set. And Set removed his eye, and that's where we get the all-seeing eye. They call it the omniscient eye, the all-present, all-knowing, the eye of Horus. This is what the Greeks call it, but it's actually the eye of Heru. And Heru is the hero in the story, and so it's all about overcoming the lower self, represented by Set, overcoming the carnal nature. And when we look at the horoscope and we look at the word scope, we're looking at the reach or the extent or the view or an instrument for viewing something far into space. So when we're looking at horoscope, we're looking at the hero's view. So we look at your personal natal chart, just like we have here. In your personal natal chart, this is a natal chart here, and you see this circle with it's divided by the 12 constellations from Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. These 12 constellations are based off of the four seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And so that's what astrology is based off of, the four seasons. And here you see this chart. This is a horoscope, okay? When you get your date of birth, your time of birth, and location of birth, this formulates your personal natal chart. And so when we look at your personal horoscope, your hero's view, we get to see where these two luminaries, the sun and the moon, actually impacts your chart. The sun is all about your purpose in life, and it is a strong indicator of what you'll actually desire to shine in the most and achieve and accomplish in life, while the moon is a reflector of the sun, and this is what you'll do in your carnal nature. And this is where your emotional needs, you'll tend to try to meet those emotional needs and nurture those gratification moments in this lifetime. So when we look at the eye of Heru in the chart, Set ripped out Heru's left eye. And the left eye is symbolic of the carnal nature, okay? That's ruled by the lunar principle. So this eye of Heru in the center of the chart is a lunar principle. And here you see it deals with the physical senses. And so here you see a depiction of a person here, and then you see how this eye reflects or is symbolic of the lunar principle. So when we look at this horoscope or horoscope, we get to see how the sun and the moon actually interacts and influence human activities on Earth. So when we want to look into the future, we look at a telescope. We can look into the stars. Telescope literally means to look into the future, literally to see, to use an instrument to look afar off. And so when you want to see into the future, you use a telescope. Or you want to see how the planetary movements will interact with each other and then influence Earth, you look at a telescope. This is the macrocosm, when you're looking into the heavenly bodies and see how they interact with one another. When you want to get specific, because all law is specific, you look at a microscope. You look at things in details, the minute, the finite things. This is where you're looking at the details of your natal chart. So when you want to look into the future, you can use your telescope and predict and see, foretell what is to come. Or you can even look into the past. When you want to look at specific categories that your life is influenced by, you look at a microscope to get more detail oriented. And so when we look at the eye, going back to this eye and the moon, you see here this eye is symbolic of the senses. And you see you have the thought, which is represented by the brow. You have the eye, which is sight. You have the smell, the hearing, the touch, taste, and then you have the intuition. Okay, so these are your seven eyes. Okay, or your eye, your all-seeing eye, and this is controlling the physical senses. When we look at the soul senses, we're actually looking at a similar experience here when you're looking at the spiritual connection or communication at will with the cosmos. So being a transmitter or transmuter of light from above at will. And you're looking at the eye, you're looking at clairvoyance. You're also looking at clairaudience as opposed to hearing, just hearing. You're looking at the spiritual aroma, being able to smell the spiritual aromas in the atmosphere, absorption of power and energy, and then you're looking at the psychometries, and this is basically being able to absorb and being able to transmute. Okay, so this is a reflection of the lunar or the moon, the luminary, and this is a reflection of the sun. So this is the eye of Haru, this is the eye of Ra. Okay, and Ra is all about that solar principle. So when we look at how important the luminaries are, the sun in your natal chart, wherever it is, wherever house is in, because these are 12 houses, whatever house it is in from when you were born, you get a chance to see where you desire to shine the most, and this is an indicator of your purpose in life. And your purpose in life is very important because it determines your identity, it determines your values, your finances, the way you express yourself, the way you communicate, the things that you nurture, the hobbies that you have in life. Your purpose identifies the mental health or routines or habits that you have. It also determines who you get into unions, partnerships, and contracts with. It also determines your desires in life and what you desire to accomplish and how you transform yourself. It determines your purpose as far as the materials of books you read, and where you decide to travel in life. It determines your career. It determines your friends and how you network. It determines your things that you decide to perfect. So this is how important the sun is. And the moon literally reflects that. So where your soul is literally trying to evolve through your purpose in this life, the moon is a reflection of that. And so it's very important to comprehend not just what a horoscope is, what some people think is just simple predictions. If you go outside, you're going to blink twice, or you're going to wake up on Thursday and roll over in bed. It's not that type of superstitious or superstition that, really don't amount to nothing that anybody can predict. It's more so about the science of how the planets interact with each other and influence all of us individually and collectively. So this is what we observe when we look at the horoscope, and then also breaking it down further, we see you become the hero in this life, and you get an opportunity to work with the creators, the planets, the forces of nature to co-create your own life. So I hope this was able to help you. I hope you were able to take something away from this. Continue to join us for the next video, and we're going to continue this series out. Peace and much love. Hotep.